My name is Chloe Pedersen. I live in Montpelier, Vermont. My story happened when I was 14 or 15, like my sophomore year of high school. Okay, so just to give a little background, my parents are like straight hippies, you know, like always have grown up with some hippie parents. I literally, like, my parents met at a Fish concert. Like, this is just, anyways, so my mom has always been into like witchery and like shamanism, all that crap, or what I thought was crap. And so I was feeling really depressed for a while. It was like towards the end of my sophomore year. I just wasn't feeling it. And my mom was like, well, maybe you're being followed by some sort of spirit or entity, some sort of dark energy that is like following you around. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I think you should go to this shaman lady out in Woodbury that I know. And I was like, that sounds a little weird, but I'll do it, because that was the only way I was gonna possibly get help. And so we drive out to Woodbury like the next week, and we arrive at this lady's house, and it looks like a normal house, but as soon as I walk in, she has like cow skins and like all these like bowls and just like wooden instruments, like weird stuff everywhere that you would expect from like a witch or a shaman. I don't know what the difference is. And so she like meets me, and I can just feel her energy. She's like really just like calm and collected, you know, like, and she brings me into this room. And she has my mom sit outside of the room. She brings me into this room. I lay down on a table, and she was like, all right, so I'm just gonna try to get a feel for what this energy that's following you around might be. And so she's like, I want you to close your eyes, and I'm just gonna bang this drum. And so probably for like 15 minutes, she was just banging this drum around me, and she was having me hold on to this like wooden stick. And I was like, this is really weird. And she's like, all right, all the bad energy has been transported to that stick that you were holding. And I was like, okay, you know. And she was like, but you need someone to guard you. You need something to guard you. So I'm going to figure out what your spirit animal is. And I was like, oh God. And I was like embarrassed at this point. I was like, what is happening? And so she has me close my eyes again, and she's banging this drum, and she's like going through this journey in her mind to like figure out what my spirit animal is. And after like 20 minutes, she like opens up her eyes or whatever, and she like touches me and like puts some rocks on me. She's like, Chloe, your spirit animal is a raven. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like what? And I was like, okay, like cool. And she's like, now I want you to think about a spot where you always go in nature, a spot of healing that you like to go, maybe when you're sad or like, you know. And I was like, okay. So I thought of this like place in the woods where I always go. She was like, all right, the next time you go there, you'll see a raven. And I was like, this is bullshit. Like, none of this, you know? And I was like, okay. And she like had me read about the raven and like what it was. And I was like, okay. And so a couple days later, I went to that spot in the woods, and I was like, you know, just chilling, looking around. And then I looked on the rock, like it was like in this rocky area, and I looked on this rock like across from me, and there was like two ravens just like hiding in this little burrow. Like they had like a little nest there, and they were just like chilling. And I was like, that was a moment where I was just like, what the f***? And I swear to God, I was like crying, like tears. I was like, this cannot be real. And yeah, that's my story. It was kind of a mind blower. I don't know.